Hello everyone and welcome to this video. So today I'm going to share with you some valuable and important tips on how you can take aesthetic looking notes on GoodNotes 5. And the really good thing about this is if you use these tips, you can write aesthetic looking notes in a less time consuming way. Okay, so a common misconception that I want to point out is that writing aesthetic pleasing looking notes is something that takes a very long time, and many people might think that it's going to be a waste of time to do so. But trust me, writing a very neat looking set of notes is really going to help you in your study process and also help you to remember the content much more better. So with that, let us jump right into today's video, and I hope that these tips that I'm going to share with you today will be helpful in your digital note-taking journey. So with that, I'm going to show you these tips through a guided process of one of my sets of notes, and I'm going to go through the tips using my notes. Okay. So the very first thing that I would like to point your attention to is the title of my notes. So the title is what the text you see underlined in the red, which I just did. And yeah, this is the title. And no, I did not write out this title, but rather I used a custom font that I downloaded. This custom font is called Serenity. And when I tap on this font section, you can see many other fonts here on the upper portion that isn't even part of the iPad or GoodNotes 5 fonts that we are provided with. So what I did was I downloaded these fonts from an app called iFont. And if you'd like to know more about how you can download these fonts and how to use it, a video has been created for that by me, and it'll be linked in the description box below. So do check that out if you are interested to find out how to download these fonts. I highly recommend it, especially because the app is completely free and available on the App Store. It's really easy to download these fonts, and I highly recommend you to use it if you want to create aesthetic looking notes. So the reason why I use this font rather than writing it out is simple. Writing out the title takes a really long time. Formatting it, making it look pretty is going to take a super long time, and that is going to defeat the purpose of this video today. So remember, writing aesthetic notes is not a time-consuming process. So in order to do that, we make use of custom fonts to type out the title of our notes. So this is what I've done. So after you have done that, it is important for you to make the title stand out. And you don't have to go all fancy to do it, but rather just use the highlighter tool that GoodNotes has made widely available. What I generally like to do is follow this style that I have done here. As you can see, I draw two highlighter lines at the side of the title. Another important point is the title must be in the center. It makes for a very streamlined set of notes, so do keep in mind that that should be done too. So this is a very simple thing. Just draw two lines at either side of the title. Really simple, but is really effective in making the title stand out. And essentially we are done with the very first part of our notes, which is the titling. Now you can mix and match with the highlighter tool. You can either draw squiggly lines at the side or draw one highlighter line. It's all up to you, but make use of the highlighter tool. It's really easy to use rather than drawing stuff at the side. It's gonna take up a lot of time. Now after we're done with that, I am going to talk about the formatting of your notes. Now do remember that every set of notes that you write needs to have a proper format. So there are many formats available online that you can read up on. What I like to follow is called the page divide format. So essentially use the highlighter tool and you divide the page. Now sometimes I divide it down the middle, sometimes I draw the line a bit to the side, depending on the notes that I'm writing. So for a better explanation and greater detail on this particular method, you can look at my other video on digital note-taking methods, where this note-taking format that I have used will be explained in greater detail. Again, this will be linked for you in the description box below. So after we have talked about the titling and formatting of the notes, the next essential part is the color scheme. So again, a common misconception is that you should have a color mechanism, something, when you're writing your notes. So like important information should be in red or something like that. Personally, I find that it's going to take a lot of time for you to toggle between red color ink, write in that, and then change it back to black or change it to any other color. That is not necessary. If there is really important information in your notes, simply use the highlighter tool and underline it. Okay, that's the best thing you can do. Do not write in different font colors. It's going to make your notes look really confusing. Rather, write the bulk of your content in one color. Try to use colors like black or very dark blue. So by very dark blue, I mean this darkest blue that I selected just now looks something like this. It's almost like black. Now the reason for doing so is using neutral colors like black and very dark blue is not going to give you any issues when it comes to your other colors that you're using. So example, the colors that you highlight with or the colors that you use for your page dividing. So that being said, write in black or very dark blue. That is very important. Now how your handwriting looks is also up to you. It will take some time for your handwriting to start looking neater when you first start writing on the iPad. I know it did take a long time for me for my handwriting to look neater, but trust me, it will really take time, but you just have to keep on practicing and find the pen setting that works the best for you. Okay, after that, the next thing is the subheadings of your notes. Now what I like to do is I like to write my subheadings in cursive. Now why I do this is I am able to write in cursive pretty quickly. But if you are a person who finds it difficult to write in cursive or haven't really tried it before, then do not try writing your subheadings in cursive, because most of our notes have a lot of subheadings. But rather just maybe write it down in your normal handwriting and you can underline it with the highlighter. That will also make for a really neat appearance of your subheadings. But if you're able to write in cursive quickly, then do try this out. I really like the look of it because for me it's easy to identify which are the subheadings from my other text. So you can try this too if you're familiar with this type of writing. Alright then, finally, when you are deciding on the colors that you're going to use for your notes, do stick to just 2 or 3 simple colors. Okay, now you see in this set of notes I have used yellow and I have used orange. I've also used some blue and pink in these diagrams that I have drawn, but it's not so significant since the diagrams are not a really important part, or not a really big part of the notes. Rather, it is important, but it's not a really big part. It doesn't take up much space in the notes. So stick to colors of the same family, colors you know that match well together. Try not to choose really weird, odd color combinations. Like example, don't choose purple and green. That's a really strange color combination. Okay, so don't choose something like that. Rather go for more neutral, like example, sunset type of colors, or you can pair some blue and green, anything that you like. But do remember the objective here is for it to look aesthetic. So proper color combination selection is important. Of course, this will take a very short time, so don't worry. It's not something that will take a long time. So again, to recap, when you are writing titles for your notes, do download the custom fonts. Do check out my video on the iFont app. That is the app that you'll need to download these fonts. So do check that out. It's really useful for your titling. So after that, when you want to bring some attention to your title, just use the highlighter. Do fix the formatting for your notes and also take note of your subheadings. When it comes to color combinations, it's purely up to you, but don't spend too much time and only choose maybe 2 to 3 colors to be in your notes, and your text, the majority of your text has to be in a neutral color like black or very, very dark blue. Alright, with that, if you have any other questions regarding how to use the GoodNotes 5 app or anything else regarding digital note taking, do watch some of my other videos in my playlist, and hopefully this will clear any of the doubts that you have. And apart from that, I hope that this video has been helpful for you. And remember, digital note taking is something that will it's something that you have to get used to over time, especially if you've not done it before. So it will take some time for you to find out which style works best for you, which handwriting works best for you. So do not feel demoralized if you find that maybe your handwriting doesn't look as neat as it does on paper, but just practice and practice writing on the iPad and you'll surely get used to it and be able to produce aesthetic looking notes, and in a very short time. So thanks for watching today's video, and I shall see you in the next video.